Hey guys, welcome back to another how-to video. Today we are installing the fantastic fan, that's locked, into the Sprinter. So ours is a 2008 Mercedes Sprinter and it's got this little circle cut and a flat kind of area along the side here. So basically what that means is you don't have to double up like I've seen a lot of other videos, buy the butyl tape and they'll run lines to get rid of the ribs. So this is the best spot to mount it, and the plan is just to get on top of the roof. We've got a 14x14 template. I'm gonna trace it on, fire a few holes, fit my hacksaw blade, and then cut it out. There's the template. All right, let's go. Okay, I apologize for the noise out here right by the highway. So the tools you'll need is a template. You'll need a metal bit on a drill, either a jigsaw or a hacksaw, and a marker. It's like, are these all even? It's like this distance looks the same. Yeah, it is. Sure it is. It's lined up perfectly on here, and perfectly on there. So we've traced out our location for the fan, and now we're gonna put a hole in the roof. Forgot to mention you should definitely have safety glasses on when you're cutting metal. So originally we were just gonna fire a bunch of holes and then try and fit the blade in and cut around. But it's actually a lot easier if you just start working it. So once you get your blade in, just come around, try and meet up with the other line, and now what I'll do is I'll go back and just chip away at that, and that'll be much easier. Now that we've got the fan positioned, I'm just gonna go around and mark the dots here so I can just pre-drill just a light hole to make sure the nut or the screws go in nicely. So now the fan came with self-tappers. So I've used the I didn't even show you this, but there's a foam kind of gasket that comes with the fan. So you take that and you line that around the side. You can sort of see it here. It's like just foam. And now just fire the screws in. I realize that making the dots is not going to make much of a difference because they are self-tapping, and once you have the gasket on you can't even see it anyway. So fire those in and then we've got a nice snug fit. For good measure, we're gonna run a line of silicone. Now I think what I'll do is I'll run it all along the edge here, make sure that's all married up, and then I'll go and cover up each screw hole as well, just to ensure there's no possible leaks into the cab. Let's have a look here. Okay, so that's what it looks like installed. It looks like I made a bit of a... My template was 14x14, so I guess this is just a little bit less. You can see the foam sucked in there. And obviously all the screw holes. So this fantastic fan does have come with a plate that will cover all that up. I think I'm pretty happy with it though. What a glorious day here in beautiful Toronto. We are back working on the van. I had to take a few days off. I had to work. I had to go to work. Beck put me to work. So today our goal is to finish up on the walls. So we've got all of the insulation done. I had to rejig a little bit of this wiring because I wanted an AC unit here and AC outlet there. I just threw up this Reflectix. So basically the plan right now, the floor is complete, it's solid. We are gonna get more Reflectix and just kind of wrap the whole van. And then we're buying just MDF, I think it's called, board, like the cheapest kind of board you can buy. And fill the walls with that as a base structure. I'm gonna tap those right into the steel. That way at least we have some kind of surface area to work with. And then bed frame, counter. So that's that. Pretty excited. And I'm going back to Home Depot. I think this is like, I think this is like day 3. And today we finished all the studs. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but we dealt with a lot trying to get these puppies in. We had to pre-drill, then countersink, then fire it in with 1 screw. Anyway, it doesn't really make sense me explaining it, but it was just a pain in the butt to get these things done. I'm pretty stoked on the way it's turned out. Everything looks pretty good. We got this little wall done as well. I decided to double it up here because I'm gonna have a flip down table, so I need some extra support. I'm not sure what we're gonna tackle next. I think maybe we're gonna start finishing some of the tongue and groove. I haven't really decided if we're doing tongue and groove the entire walls or if we're gonna do like a ply board at the bottom just to save a little bit of money, because I know tongue and groove can get very expensive. But I kind of want to, I know a lot of people get into their bed once the kind of walls are done, but I think I'm gonna save that for last because it'd be, you know, a pain to walk around the bed structure. Focus. Decided to leave the fuzzies on today. Another exciting day in the van. And we are working on angles. Gotta love those Sprinter van angles. So if you guys are looking to get an angle, this is the method I came up with, and once again I'm not like an architect or anything, I'm just a normal guy. I got some of this paper here and I just kind of taped it to the roof there because this is a weird kind of curve, and then I kind of just forced the paper into that curve with a Sharpie and got a rough idea of what that angle was, and then folded the paper up because we need that to sit flat obviously on the ground, and that's my point. So I'm just gonna connect that line to there, and then I'll cut it all out of this brown stuff, and that will be my template for wood. We'll see if that actually works. I really have no idea, but that's what I'm going with today. It took me a while. That last little Tracy McDougal thing with the paper, total waste of time, but I found the best way to do this. So now that you've got kind of a messed up board, I'm happy with this angle, and I'm happy with the way it's sitting on the floor, which is the most important. You don't want it to be visually crooked, right? So that looks good. Now what I just did is, let me see if I can do this and show you, is I've taken 2 pens, okay, because I want to copy the angle that's in the wall. So I've taken 2 pens, one's open, and I hold one to the other like that. So I've got it down at the bottom, and you just trace it all the way along. Just keep this pen flush with this wall. Boom, 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 boom. Brilliant. So happy with that. That's what I'm talking about. Why didn't I think of that earlier? Will you go back further?
Just like that.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So, that's good?
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
Do you want to go for a lap around the block?
No, I couldn't do it any further. My foot wouldn't. It might be too far.
Okay. As long
I
as
can always, this is the maximum, and then I can always.
Okay, good, because that fits perfect.
Okay, but what about you?
I already tested it. I'm
You
happy.
like it close?
I like it close and back.
You sit close.
I sit close but back, like I'm gangster and gangster lean.
Yeah, no, but
You sit like a keener.
No, I sit
Your
like.
thing is like straight.
No, I sit like I have good posture,
Yeah,
buddy.
like a
That's
keener.
really good for you.
I know, but
I
it's
feel like a mom driving like a minivan.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Come on, kids.
Okay, so once that shelf's dry, it's gonna look really good up here, eh? Gray?
Yeah, it is.
It's
like this gray.
Yeah. And then should this be gray? The back?
Maybe the back.
I think the back. 'Cause white would be like, why is it white?
Yeah.
And now,
But what are you doing all along the wall on that
and
side?
this side?
Like, all of this is gonna be what,
I haven't
wood?
figured out yet. Could be tile.
I'm just saying, should it like, it should match. This should match.
Ideally, it'd be like nice to get tile
Yeah, that'd be cool.
on this too. But I don't know how you angle tile. No one's got angular lines in their house.
Your mustache is so ridiculous.
This mustache? It is 5:30 in the morning. It's the first time I've had to have lights on in the morning to see. We are currently working away here. It's pretty cold. It's like 0 degrees, so got the engine running. And I just finished up the headliner last night, so I decided to paint it gray. It's gonna fit along there to give me some more storage. So let's try and fire that in.
Right, in this case, he moved you right. Washington into BC. I don't know why they just don't do them in alphabetical order. What this thing? California, Oregon.
So the headliner was just made out of wood, and I kept it very lightweight. I started with this thin ply. Come on, man, focus. So that's kind of the main area, and then I framed it with just some strapping. Now, a lot of people are wondering, like, why wouldn't you finish that? Well, the piece of wood I had left wasn't long enough, but that's gonna be covered anyway. Next, I think this is a pretty creative idea, is I made these kind of L brackets. Now, I'm sure you could buy something like this, but that's just aluminum. Put it in a vise, bent it, threw a few holes in it. And then I've just scored out a little mark here, and that's gonna sit there. And it's gonna be hidden because I'm gonna adhere it to the top there. And it's gonna be sort of a floating shelf. And then that marries up with the, what's that, like a coat hanger there? It's a pretty ugly view, but beautiful morning! Alright, I kind of forgot to update the vlog here. But the headliner's in. So I've done that, I showed you that, the bracket. And this, I'm not super stoked on the way it turned out. But I just kind of wedged a little piece in there, put a little adhesive on the back. So that's not going anywhere because the pressure's coming down anyway. But it's sort of hidden. You can't really notice it unless you get up and personal. So my next task for today is I'm kind of starting to do the countertop. Yay, exciting. And by no means am I a cabinet maker or a tradie by any means. I'm a YouTuber, a YouTube learner. So this is the way I'm doing it. Don't judge me. Actually, if I'm doing something wrong, let me know. Leave it in the comments below. But basically, I'm using this 2x3 stuff. It's just a little bit lighter than a 2x4. It's still very structurally sound. And I'm just kind of building out a frame. So the way I've been doing it is just a little dab of wood glue, just for extra measure. And then I'm pre-drilling the holes with a very tiny bit. And then firing these mothers. Look at this. So I figure that is a good bite. And even just with this one piece, like that's solid. So I'm pretty stoked on that. So I was reading this manual last night and it says that our little Dometic fridge needs ventilation. So this is our little wall going behind the driver seat. And then I've just made some holes in there. I've got some screen left over. Thanks, Nancy. And then I'm just gonna fill the holes and just make my own little vents. So that's what I'm doing. Cut another piece of this MDF. That's just gonna go there. Not sure what we're doing about the side walls yet. Probably some tongue and groove, but that will at least cover up sort of where the bed is. And then we also started planning our electrical, so that's gonna go there. We'll need to notch that out. And we've got another AC right there. And those are DC. So she's coming along, mate. She's coming along nicely. I know it doesn't look like I did a lot today, but I think it was a pretty good day's work. And we gotta cut it short. We got a family dinner out of town, so that's all for today. I also just talked to a buddy of mine about running LEDs in parallel, which I was confused on. It's actually very simple, very straightforward. So I'm actually pretty excited about that because now that I figured that out, we can actually do the ceiling. I'm gonna run those wires and then we can do tongue and groove this weekend if we wanted to. And I'm actually thinking that's a better, I might put this stuff on hold because it'd be nice to have the whole surface area to properly fit the ceiling and then do everything else around it. So that's an update. Thanks for watching. I'll probably just link these other videos together, but cool. Just trying to visualize what it's gonna feel like. This is 24, this board, so it's gonna come out another inch because I think standard counter depth is 25. At IKEA it's 25, but at IKEA it's 25 and 5/8. So if we decide to go with an IKEA counter, it's gonna be 5/8 bigger. I don't know why they do that. They probably do that just to get you to make more, get you to buy everything there because it's all custom. If that makes any sense. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked on the way everything's working out. My water will fit perfectly in line like that, and then I'll have 2 more on the other side. So I'll be carrying 15 gallons at once, and then 1 5-gallon gray. So I'll just dump the gray as we go. The little fridge fits just absolutely perfect here. Gas burner goes down to there. And then we've got the propane at the back. So I've still got this little room. I could do a garbage bin or just more storage. And the sink will sit about there. So that'll be kind of all water section. Now what I was thinking I'd like to do is make this entire area like water sealed, like sealed off. Just in case there are leaks, I don't want it to rush into the floor. But my next project is, well, I got a little bit of work to do on this. I need to get a 1-inch piece to kind of fill that gap and put one at the back and then a cross beam there. and then get that board on to the wall. But we figured out the lighting, so I'll probably do the lighting Saturday. Because I'm not sure how much time I have tomorrow. And then I feel like everything else is gonna go fairly quickly. The bed might be a little tricky to kind of figure out exactly how that works. I have an idea in my head, but I'm not sure. I'm sure it'll be a little more technical than I'm planning. But everything else should be pretty quick, like as far as getting the wood paneling up, the ceiling. And the interior is done, which is like amazing. Wow, the lighting is very good in this exact spot. Maybe it has to do with the sunlight. Sunlight, the fan. And then my biggest concern, of course, which I think I've shared with everyone, is electrical. I have no idea how to, like even wiring this thing, I really, you know, I looked online, they said 12 gauge. I went to Home Depot, bought 12 gauge and kind of did what I thought. At first I did all conduit. I thought, oh, I'll do it all proper, and that was just such a pain. And then I heard from other guys that no, you don't need to do conduit, so I just got this flexible wire and we just ran that. But as far as like making the initial purchase for all the batteries, the inverters, the charge controllers, I've done a lot of research and I think I just need to take the plunge. I think I'm leaning towards Renergy. Their customer service has been the best so far. The sales guy was really helpful. He gave me a quote. And I think as I mentioned as well, my sister is actually hooking us up with a panel. So it's gonna be 3 feet by 6 feet, 320 watt panel, which is nice to have one massive panel and not have to install 3. And I've already figured out how I'm gonna actually install that. My Sprinter has the tracks. So I'm just gonna get like L bracket from Home Depot and run that across, then 2 more screws in and it should secure. But yeah, things are moving along pretty nicely. Our deadline is mid-May, so I'd say we're on schedule. I need to order the solar stuff pretty soon. I've got another afternoon to work on the van. Beck's inside helping us out. We just got back from Home Depot. We picked up some tongue and groove pine, which is not ideal. I would have liked to get some cedar in there, but it will work for what we need. The cedar was like double the price, so if you're on a budget, I guess you're gonna be going with pine. And today we gotta just you know, the rest of the afternoon we're gonna try and get the ceiling up. So we got Bob joining us, and it should be a good day. We've decided that we are moving forward with just drilling right into the ribs of the van.
Do you guys remember who I am? Today is Easter Monday, so I'm actually able to help Eamon and Bob out with the van today. So I'm on insulating the ceiling duty. We've cut these like big white, I don't know the technical terms, but like the cushiony bit of insulation, and then after that we put the silver reflective stuff. So I've just measured, see if you can see, I've just measured all these bits in between here. So from here to here, and I've just stuck up my first one. While I do this, Eamon and Bob are cutting out the wood for the ceiling, so hopefully by end of today, which is kind of crazy because it's already 4, but before the sun goes down, maybe we'll have a ceiling up, so exciting stuff.
Hi.
Hey.
Groove.
Okay, so we've just
that'd be a nice finish, eh? Just like that, even.
That's what I was thinking. What were you thinking?
I don't know. I guess that works, eh?
Yeah, that looks nice.
You can always put like a piece of strap or whatever along there if you want to really clean it up.
Okay, so now you gotta mark this again.
Yeah,
square.
this is where it gets tricky.
Almost fell back. Tighter quarters than you would think. So we finished insulating the ceiling completely. We've got, you can see actually, the layer of the, I call it the white cottony stuff, and then the reflective on top. And now we're just tongue and grooving. Right, guys?
Yeah, that's right. And this is where it gets tricky with the fan.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to place it up. Oh yeah, I got to line it up right
And we're just debating on the stain, I guess, still, but thinking about keeping it really natural and light looking so that it stays feeling airy and cottage-like.
Why are you doing that? I'm just lining up here. We've been really having a hard time deciding how to stain, what color to do. You know, everyone has that classic rule that if it's dark ceiling, it makes it look like a smaller space, and that's very true. But we really like the look of dark wood, but the last thing you want to do is make a 65 square foot van feel smaller. So this is the original stain I bought. It's called Walnut. I'm not sure how it's coming up on the camera, but I love the color. But I was a little concerned that it would make the space feel too tight. So we've scrapped that. Are you heading out? All right, Dad. Happy birthday. So what we decided to do was to keep them au naturel.
Yeah.
And Beck's just putting a coat of polyurethane on it, just to kind of finish it up a little bit. And that way, you protect the pine. And it actually does darken it a tad, but...
Yeah, like in the knots and stuff, you can see that it's a bit darker. I think it's gonna be nice to leave it natural so that it's nice and bright and makes our space feel like airy and cottagey, you know? That's what I'm going for.
The boss.
Buddy, I hope you like it too.
No, I'm just kidding. It'll be good, I think. I hope.
Promise?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know either. I've never made such a big decision in my life.